right, we're back for the third of 4 rounds in the NRG Series MTGO Invitational round of 8. I'm Joe Lossett, joined tonight by Simon Kamerow.
Good evening, folks. Happy to be here.
And our players tonight are Zoe Riederman versus TJ Rogers in a matchup where there are a lot of red spells that do damage going both directions. So we'll briefly mention how the players got to this point in the event. Zoe Riederman with mono red Prowess defeated Mark Johnson playing Jund in the round of 16, a match where Zoe won in 2 games, playing exceedingly well and kind of benefiting a little bit by Mark perhaps making not the greatest choices with his thought seizes in both games, and she was able to take that one down in fairly close matches.
TJ, for his part, played a 3-game set against John Ryan Hamilton on Eldrazi Tron, was able to squeak through. I've always liked being the burn deck against big mana just because, you get to really take them out before their engine gets all the way up and running. So let's take a look real quick at Zoe Riederman's player profile before we go over to the deck lists. So Zoe's a 26-year-old from Vernon Hills, Illinois. She's a software engineer, so you can find her on Twitter at Zoe Reed. She is not yet top 8'd on the NRG series, but she's an active participant with a bunch of top 32s. And she also has played a bunch online, making a Super PTQ top 16 on MTGO. She's a huge anime watcher and has watched over 100 different titles, which is mind-boggling. She's a diehard fan.
2. I think I have also 2 anime.
Oh, you've 2 titles.
Yes.
I've probably watched somewhere between the 2 of you, but much closer to you than Zoe, and I thought I was a nerd. She's a big fan of Naruto, so I wonder how she feels about... You know about Boruto, Joe?
No.
You know Naruto's got a son named Boruto?
I don't even know who Naruto is.
Naruto, listen, he's going to be the Hokage one day. You're just going to have to believe me on that one.
I don't know what that is either.
It's very important.
I do know Naruto is when the people put their arms up behind them and they run in a fixed position. I do know that.
So speaking of running fast like an anime ninja, let's take a look at this mono red Prowess deck.
All right, so Zoe's playing again her Prowess deck. The interesting choices in deck building come down to the Runaway Steamkin versus Bonecrusher Giant slot, and maybe the presence of the 2 Firebolts, which definitely played a role in the round of 16. Other than that, we got a lot of Prowess creatures, a lot of cheap spells, some cantrips, and then a playset of Bedlam Revelers really give a lot of draw power if she reaches the late game.
Yeah, this Prowess deck really changed when it lost Faithless Looting, and also when it got Lava Dart. And I think Firebolt is a really interesting card. For 1 mana, you can trigger Prowess. You can also trigger Spectacle for your light up the stage. And it's not unreasonable to see yourself casting it for the flashback in the late game or off these Runaway Steamkins.
Right. Steamkin definitely can, as it's named, Runaway. It can really get out of control with the cantrips, Manamorphose, and Crash Through, leading into Bedlam Revelers and all kinds of craziness getting going. Meanwhile, she's going to be playing against another red deck, which you're going to cover right now.
Yeah, she's playing against TJ Rogers, who's piloting a more traditional red deck in the format, Red, White, Burn. TJ's a host of the Ponder podcast, sponsored by the NRG series, just like this tournament. So if you like this, maybe you'll like that too. I like this burn deck. Nothing too crazy or too wild here. You don't see any copies of Skullcrack in the main deck. That's kind of fallen out of favor. And what you do see are 4 copies of Lightning Helix, which should go pretty far in an aggressive mirror.
Yeah, that's going to play... Just the life gain, it seems huge. If TJ draws 2 Lightning Helixes, that's a lot of work for Zoe to have to put in to overcome that difference.
Also, TJ playing 0 copies of, the red-blue Pain Land that's like Sunbaked Canopy. Canyon. I can't believe this is the one I forgot the name of.
Fiery Islet.
Yeah, we were just looking at it in Zoe's deck. So no Fiery Islet, and no Stomping Ground for a green splash. So he's doing as little damage to himself as possible, which is really where you want to be against the Prowess deck.
Yeah, definitely that could play a big role here.
So real quick, I honestly don't know how I think this one's going to go. Who do you like in the matchup, Joe?
I like going first, and I think I like... In game 1, I think I like the Prowess side. I think it has the potential for more total damage output over the first few turns because of light the stage, I think, and maybe even Bedlam Reveler if it goes that far. There's card advantage in the Prowess deck that doesn't exist on the burn side.
Yeah. So we do know Zoe is going to be starting things off on the play, which is going to double down on your prediction. And she's going to ship this hand, going to start off with just 6 cards. But you can tell, this Prowess deck isn't quite as straightforward of a mulligan as Burn is.
Right, and that opening hand looked like it had everything you'd want, except it had no creatures. And so it's disciplined of her to decide, you know what, I need a source of consistent damage. This isn't going to work. And we see her 6 is going to contain 1 creature. And did she just put back her second land? Wow.
See, this is how I know Zoe is a true baller, because she immediately bottoms the second land. She's like, no, Crash Through's a land that's also a Prowess trigger in this hand. It's even better than a mountain.
I'm amazed by that choice. I would not make that choice. No, I'm not experienced playing this deck.
No.
So maybe that just means I'm wrong, but I am blown away that was just done.
That was extremely cool. And what's interesting is I was wondering if we would see this, and we do. TJ immediately snaps off a lightning bolt to kill the Soulscar Mage. And Zoe, again, getting rewarded for being brave, immediately draws another Soulscar Mage.
I don't know if I call this rewarded, though. I would like to have another land to play.
You don't need the land. What's the land going to do? Now you would want another land. This would be a good situation to have land number 2.
Oof. Okay. Well, let's see. So her options are, I guess she could just attack.
Yeah,
and
just
see
shove in.
If the Eidolon blocks or not, and then when it doesn't, because it won't, then do you play Swift Spear?
I think if it doesn't, you probably just bolt it. And I think passing is actually fine too, because now you have a potential 2/3 blocker for a surprise.
Right. Maybe. If that Eidolon would even attack, but I'm not sure that it will. We'll see. We'll see what TJ has to follow up with here.
3 mana. Is this a hard mode Skewer the Critics?
Or Rift Bolt, either one. Yeah, Rift
Bolt.
Hard mode
Rift Bolt. It's fine.
I mean, we could Lava Dart and flash it back to kill the Eidolon in response to survive the Rift Bolt.
We could do that.
That seems a little risky.
I think because there's the Swift Spear, we don't have to be that cool, but it's still, I like the way you're thinking. You're now thinking appropriately for piloting this Prowess deck.
Yeah, this is definitely a new way to process my thoughts compared to what I'm used to the decks I normally would play. Do we have a land? We do not.
No, but we've got a Lava Spike. Well, but here. Meanwhile, look at this. We're going to do some damage. Oh, wow. Cycling there. That's interesting. I would have actually liked playing the Swift Spear and just holding the Crash 3s for as long as possible.
Yeah, I would have played the Swift Spear also, but I'm more willing to believe I'm wrong on this one.
For sure. I've played with this deck a bit, but I am not a very experienced pilot, and I assume, at some point, you're right. You obviously do need to play a second land. Speaking of.
Okay, so there we go. We're on the board. Let's see. We go, well, she has options here. I imagine the Swift Spear is definitely going to come down. After that, she has options on what she's going to do to follow it up. I would expect it's going to be, what do you think, Lava Spike or Crash Through?
Oh, whoa. You know what's interesting? I think we're going to try to build towards Bedlam Reveler pretty aggressively. We might see an actual defensive Swift Spear here.
We might see, if we're really going towards Reveler, we could just see a Lava Spike. But yeah, I imagine we'll see Reveler. I think it'll attack, though. I don't think it's defensive. I don't think it's worth much on defense. It's going to, I guess it could absorb 2 damage.
Right, and now what you see is we're going pretty aggressively for Reveler because here comes the Lava Spike.
So there were some plays in Zoe's round of 16 match that I wasn't completely on board with watching live, but ended up to work out very well in her favor. This kind of is the same, as or seeing a repeat of that, where there's plays that maybe don't look obvious from my perspective. We'll see if it works out in her favor again, though.
Right. I mean, what's tough is, these Swift Spears, see, this is a lot of damage. This is 8 damage here. So or 7 damage. So she's going to end up down at 10.
And the Reveler's still not going to come down. Well, no, actually, I guess. That's a nice draw.
Now, I think, honestly, I would play the Swift Spear and kill both of the Swift Spears here.
Sure.
That's 3 Prowess triggers.
Yeah, this is actually puts her right back in the running of this game, whereas I was I was thinking she was really in trouble, and maybe she's still in this. She's going to end up taking 2 damage from her lands between this turn and next turn,
Right.
which is unfortunate, but TJ with 2 cards left in hand.
I think the heuristic that we have to get used to for this matchup is that your Swift Spears specifically are actually just burn spells. And so playing one for just 1 damage or playing one as just a chump blocker is never going to be worth a full card for the Prowess deck specifically, which is very weird for me. I haven't played a ton of Prowess, like I said, but I've played a lot of Swift Spear decks, and frequently you're expecting that card to do all of the damage instead of just being a huge burst of damage like it was there.
Right. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we only have 5? Oh, wow.
But we've got another mountain.
Yeah, well, that was really significant. I guess that just really mattered a lot.
So now we need to fade, basically, because if there's a spell for TJ.
Well, nothing end of turn there is a good sign.
Oh, is this an Eidolon? Oh,
that's not so bad either.
Oh, this is the worst feeling when you draw an Eidolon and your opponent's in the play 8 drops part of the game.
Yeah, this is potentially going to go real bad for TJ here.
Right, Zoe's going to be able to play the second Bedlam Reveler as just a 3-mana 3/4. I don't think she even wants to play this Lightning Bolt. I think you just attack and then maybe play the second Reveler.
No, I agree. I think you definitely play the second Reveler and attack. Unless 3, 4. If we bolt here, actually, if she bolts here, TJ can't play a spell. I would have liked to see the bolt there. Whoa. Yeah, I would actually think
to lock him out of the game?
To lock him out, because he wouldn't have been able to play anything.
Because she could have just taken the damage from the Eidolon attacking there.
She would have been at 3 going down to 1, but that would have been okay. TJ clearly, on the previous turn, he had the 5 land and then held his other card, so it's not a spell. Drew the Eidolon. I think it's likely she's going to win anyway, but I think the game could have been over last turn potentially, or at least inevitably locked up.
Her line, I think. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what it would prevent, but no, she could just go down to 1, right, on the crack deck.
Now, if you're not confident on the other person's hand being a blank, then you are risking killing yourself. So there is that downside.
Right. If you go down to 3 and he's like, oh, great, okay, now this lightning bolt that I've been sitting on without a good target says win the game.
Okay, what do we do? I like playing Bedlam Reveler now. And then if we draw any burn spell, then we're safe. We don't have to do anything ever.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, that's a pretty good one.
That's a pretty good one. But we risk dying if TJ drew a burn spell off of the Sunbaked Canyon. I still like playing Bedlam Reveler.
Well, you don't need to play that pre-combat now.
No, because I don't think you attack. If you Bedlam Reveler into a burn spell, you don't have to attack, and TJ's stuck. He can never do anything. The Eidolon is keeping Zoe safe as long as it's on the board.
I get what you're saying, but I think that she can attempt to proactively end the game by playing like this. And here I wouldn't cast the Crash Through. I would say go down to 1.
Right. Okay, so now... Well, now you have...
Right. And that's fine because...
All kinds of interesting stuff happening here. Okay, there it is. She will pick up the win here.
Right, because she's so live to drawing the burn spell. This line, I think, allows her to make the fewest decisions before forcing TJ to make a potentially lethal decision on his end. She played very conservatively at the end of the game, but I think she was far enough ahead that she was able to do it.
Yeah, I still like playing the Reveler pre-combat because I think that gives you the safest win. But either way, it works out in her favor, and I think her play's, like you're saying, pretty solid regardless.
Yeah.
So Zoe Riederman's sideboarding, she has some obvious cards. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Your sentiment there. But we have the cards that likely are going to come in. Well, Dragon's Claws are definitely going to come in. Potentially Close Luck's Return, and then also maybe a Braids. That seems unlikely. Let's see what she actually did. Zoe brought in 3 Dragon's Claws, 2 Close Luck's Return, and she removed 3 Runaway Stimkins and 2 Bedlam Revelers. And you have some thoughts on this.
So let's talk about what matters real quick with the sideboarding. I like cutting Steamkin just because it's a card that can trade down on mana, which you don't really want to be doing. And also because it's the least synergistic threat in your deck with Kozilek's Return, a card that you want to proactively kill something like Core Firewalker. However, Kozilek's Return is devoid. It is a colorless card, which means it doesn't trigger Dragon's Claw. And that is one of only 3 million reasons why I don't like the card Dragon's Claw. I get it. It's great. It's totally powerful when your opponent is also playing an aggressive red deck and you are trading cards for life points. And I'm even going to go as far as to say it's probably really good and important in this matchup. But I just don't like this card, man. It's a claw. Why is a claw gaining you life? Why isn't it doing damage? Like, how is that in line with anything else that dragons do in Magic the Gathering? And also, when you play with pen and paper, you have to keep taking up the life all the time, which is just, Anyway, so, you know, a lot of props to Zoe. Only slops to Dragon's Claw.
When you said that you had a rant about Dragon's Claw, it didn't even enter my mind that your rant was going to regard the artwork.
Well, this isn't art. This is flavor. Regardless of flavor, art, this is the flavor of the card that I'm taking issue with.
All right. Well, flavor, artwork, these are all things that I'm not even aware of when I play this game. So let's go ahead and go on to TJ's deck list.
Right. So TJ cuts 4 Boros Charms, 2 Lava Spikes, and 2 Rift Bolts, all cards that don't necessarily interact well with the board, and brings in 2 Path to Exiles, 4 Core Firewalkers, I think all slam dunks, and 2 Rest in Pieces.
Rest in Peace is nice. It's going to shut down a lot of Zoe's power cards. I mean, the Bedlam Revelers obviously played a huge role in Game 1.
But it's also Lava Dart, right?
Lava Dart flashback matters, but Bedlam Reveler removing kind of some of the end game can significantly hinder what she has going on. She actually anticipated this and removed 2 of the Bedlam Revelers from her deck for sideboarding.
To me, that shows that kind of a savviness of what the game is about. She had a little difficulty casting the first Bedlam Reveler in Game 1, and we know that she's playing the full 4, so cutting down on a clunky card in such an aggressive matchup makes a ton of sense. So yeah, let's take it to Game 2. We're going to see TJ starting the game on the play here.
I mean, it's going to be tough for them to top Game 1.
Game 1 was awesome.
Game 1 was pretty cool.
Sorry, I saw Dragon's Claw. Sorry, I'll grow up. I'll grow up.
No, that's okay. You can object to cards on whatever basis you want.
If she keeps this hand because of Dragon's Claw, oh my goodness. Sorry, I'll stop talking over you because of the Dragon's Claw.
No, that's all right. All right, so we have TJ on 6 and Zoe's on 7 with her life gain and a pile of lands to go with it.
Right, yeah, she's got 4 lands to cast her Dragon's Claw. No way to answer the Swift Spear, but plenty of mountains. Colorless cards for Dragon's Claw. Oh, no, there you go. No, the game's over.
All right, do we hold the Swift Spear here?
Yeah, I guess so.
She's gonna hold it for the extra life gain.
Again, so I would have played the Swiss Spear, and if I didn't play that, I would have played the Lava Spike. But the minute that you said, "Do you hold the Swiss Spear?" I was like, "Oh, that's probably the best play, huh?"
Yeah, because it's worth a lot. I mean, if we're gonna win based on our hand, if we win this game, it's gonna last a while. And holding the Lava Spike and the Swiss Spear is just 2 life points.
I'm so mad at how this game played out, and Zoe is playing it pretty brilliantly. I think she's
You're mad because the Dragon's Claw is actually going to matter.
Well, not only that, but she played 0 spells before the Dragon's Claw. Oh, no, let's see. I don't know. I think she's weighing the options right now.
Yeah, okay. If she's going to go with the Dragon's Claw. Playing the Swiss Spear there would have kind of made a mockery out of how the first couple turns had developed. But,
and look at this. Kind of brutally for TJ, he started on Sunbaked Canyon, so that Lightning Helix, even though it's the beautiful foily alternate one, only puts him back to 20 life points.
Yeah, and also he didn't get the Prowess trigger from the Swift Spear because he held it up to potentially kill something later on. So now we have life gain on both sides.
Is this a Red Mirror or a Soul Sisters mirror? What am I watching here?
Well, we do have Zoe with the potential to kill Firewalker, whereas her Dragon's Claws, I think, are safe. They'll never leave the board.
Yeah, I mean, TJ has Wear Tear in his sideboard, and it's going to stay in his sideboard, unless he wants to somehow 2-for-1 it to also kill his Eidolon. I mean, that card's not coming in. Meanwhile, everybody's gaining life. Why not? Because, again, it's Prowess versus Burn, the life gain mirror.
All right, so Zoe chooses to hold back the Lava Spike, probably in order to have the Lava Dart to protect her creatures from minor burn spells here.
Right. So 2 prowess triggers, also 2 -1/-1 counters to distribute with that Soul Scar Mage in play.
Yeah. It may only take 1. If the Swift Spear would attack here, which it probably won't, then yeah, the 1 Lava Dart would likely be enough to finish it off alongside the blocks. But we'll see what TJ decides to do.
Right. And, this is a problem. You see Firewalker coming in. Firewalker, I don't like the card. But,
Firewalker coming in, does that suggest there's another one? Or are we just trying to race with Dragonclaw on the board? Because that seems questionable.
I think TJ's realized. So in general, I don't think that he can win a long game. I think the Prowess deck with all its light up the stages and with copies of cards like Bedlam Reveler still in there, you're just never going to win a long game.
Right.
And so, what you're seeing here is TJ's just trying to convert cards for damage while he can. And I like the line he's taking. It's just a really tough one to win with.
Yeah, so he attacked with the Firewalker to be able to spectacle the Skewer the Critics here, and now that's triggering all manner of stuff being fired off and life to be gained. Should we have an alternate win condition as whichever player, if a player gets to 40, they just win?
What's that card? Test of Endurance? Is that 50 that you need to be at to win?
I believe it is. There's a number of cards of that variety. That one, I believe you're right, is 50. It's a 4-mana white enchantment. There's also the
cat, Felidar
Sovereign. Yeah.
Right.
That one I think might be 40.
Yeah, because, once you turn 40, you win the game by putting a cat into your life or something. I don't know what they're trying to say with that card specifically.
I don't know what you're trying to say with your comment there.
I don't know either. But meanwhile, we see Zoe untapping. She's got a nice trio of mountains in her hand and a lava spike that's aimed straight at her opponent. Looks like she's going to come across for 7 damage this turn. But life is going up. Life is going down. This is really quite a wacky game.
This is kind of, it's hard to give you much credit for racing. We're at 18-19 on turn 4. TJ's going to take another 4 here, like you were saying, but neither player making much progress as far as doing damage goes.
Do you ever play Little League Baseball?
I did.
So you know how there's umpires usually, or pitching coaches, who will count the pitches thrown with one of those clickers?
Yes.
So I just imagine each player has a clicker here for each of their life gain ticks for the rest of this game. What number does that get up to?
I don't know. I think your thumb gets tired at some point.
Oh, yeah. You'll get in trouble for carpal tunnel at some point.
All right. Zoe with just straight nothing to work with at this point. And even drawing a Bedlam Reveler is not... there's only 2 left in the deck, and they're expensive right now.
7 mana spells. She has 5 lands. Okay, well, this one's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I think Oh, you go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say Firewalker swinging in for 2, and Zoe having all lands, and TJ really having none.
Yeah, I wonder if at some point it would behoove TJ to crack the Sunbaked Canyon to try to draw a better source of mana, but that can't be right.
No, I don't think that's right.
I often get fidgety in these stalemate situations when I'm playing Magic, and you got to be more patient.
Yeah, and he is... I don't know if I'd say he's winning. He's doing damage here. He obviously has 4 spells in hand, whereas Zoe only has 1, although he doesn't know that. He has to like his position here, but he also has to acknowledge to himself that this game is going to last 10 more turns.
Right, and Core Firewalker looking just way better than Dragon's Claw. I know some of our viewers at home have heard me make this tirade against Dragon's Claw and wonder how I feel about Firewalker. I love the Core tribe, personally. I love all Core. I love Armament Master. More than...
Okay, so I was just going to ask you, how many Core are we even talking about here besides Stoneforge Mystic and Core Firewalker, but you already named another one.
Oh, see, Armament Master is the key to the Tribal Core deck, but we'll save that for another day. Maybe I'll get to pilot that in the next one of these modern tournaments. Meanwhile, Soulscar Mage is going to enter the battlefield now that there are 2 spells to protect it.
Okay, that is good. Yeah, she's been holding that back, and now this allows her to get some counterplay on, attacking back. TJ finally draws a land, so now we might see him eventually sacrifice one of those canyons.
Well, no, yeah, one of the 3 canyons.
So really, he's looking at a pretty sizable hand right now, counting those lands that are in play. And Zoe's on 2 lightning bolts, and okay, she is going to get rewarded here for slow playing, as she's going to be able to save the Soulscar Mage.
Well, it looks like there might be a double Searing Blaze coming here from TJ as a way to just convert these into more damage.
Right.
Because Searing Blaze requires 2 targets, so even if the first one, which it will, kills the Soulscar Mage, the second one will still resolve 3 damage to Zoe.
Yeah. I don't know if that makes a ton. I mean, I realize he has 2. He's probably been staring at those in his hand for a while, but she's likely to play more creatures at some point. So I would have liked to see.
So I love that play. Oh boy.
Really?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so this K return, a perfect draw from Zoe. The reason why I like that play so much from TJ is because Searing Blaze is...
Let me interrupt you here
go ahead.
Just real quick. I really dislike Zoe letting the Core Fireworker untap, because Boros Charm giving Indestructible would be deadly here.
Right. Now, she doesn't know this. We do. TJ boarded all his Boros Charms out.
And I just realized you can't do that anyway, because Boros Charm...
it doesn't
Fireworker
target.
Can't be targeted. Oh, it doesn't target. Yeah,
it's
so that's...
permanents you control. It includes lands.
So I feel like that's risky, and... well, she got away with it. It's no problem. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I wanted to get that in in case it came up.
Winding back a little bit, the reason why I like the double Searing Blaze is because I like using all your mana when you can in this matchup, and I like using a conditional card when you can. Because TJ had so many copies of Sunbaked Canyon, you knew that he would be able to convert that into more spells if he needed, or more cards if he needed. So I like using the situational and clunky card as efficiently as possible there.
I am no longer confident that TJ, with 4 cards in hand and 2 more Sunbaked Canyons, now converting one of them, I'm not sure that TJ's ahead anymore.
No, I think he's behind this Dragon's Claw. I talked so much trash, and here it is. It's going all the way.
And rest in peace, shutting down Bedlam Revelers, sort of, but with 6 land to play, we're not too far away from Zoe being able to actually just cast one full price.
Yeah, that's really not out of the question. I like this kind of Oh, God. I don't like anything.
I like her Metamorphosing there also. And, boy, that's quite a draw. I mean, she's already virtually at 10. Now she's up to 13.
I'm so mad. Because here's the thing. I love the way Zoe's playing. I love this Prowess deck. I have nothing but compliments to say. I also really like TJ's play a lot. He's played a really kind of tough position the whole match, but he's played it pretty well, I think. And it's just Dragon's Claw. I have some PG-13 or more highly rated comments about this card brewing in my head right now.
Well, Zoe's putting on a clinic here. Even though I feel like she caused herself some difficulty in game 1 with her mulligan choice, but
I think it was right. I
don't. But
I think we're just seeing an expert play their deck here, Joe. We're a lot of weird counterintuitive lines, but if you win 2 games and you play 2 games, maybe I'm being too results oriented, but I would not bet against Riederman while she's piloting this Prowess deck.
And neither would I. These things are going. She's definitely making the most of what she's got here, and what she's got right now is a pretty solid board. TJ effectively, she can put him at 3 right now. Right.
And we see now the Searing Blaze is not going to be good enough. Now, if he'd held it previously, he would have been able to convert both Searing Blazes.
He has 2 pair again?
I can see.
Oh my goodness!
Maybe this is why he was in a hurry to start casting them earlier. That's fine.
It's fine. I still think
each one of those Searing Blazes did 1 damage.
I still think there could be Zoe's Lightning Bolts could be in the graveyard right now, and TJ would be at 8, and I think that's would be fine for him. And actually, another Prowess creature.
That does all of it, right? Because she gains back the 2 life from the Searing Blazes, and she gets the Soulscar Mage back.
I mean, there's almost no way with TJ unable to get the Dragon's Claws off the board. There's almost no way for him to catch up here.
Right.
If each time, let's just say we're in a stalemate, if each player draws a burn spell, Zoe stays even.
Right. He doesn't have enough persistent sources of damage at this point left in his deck besides the copies of Core Firewalker. And what you're seeing is that now his white sources are going to either come into play tapped or cost him a lot of life to come into play.
Yeah, he really needs another Core Firewalker. There are 3 more in the deck, but he needs Firewalkers here, and really not much else is gonna help him, I don't think.
Right, and if you're Zoe, I mean, you start you just start casting these bolts, right? Because you have enough to sequence it so you can beat 1 3 damage removal spell at instant speed.
Yeah, and you do want to, not a Path to Exile, but you do want to try and finish the game from Zoe's perspective before more Firewalkers are drawn.
And look at that, that's land number 7. Or no, is that land number 8?
No, it's 8. Yeah.
Oh boy, if she hardcasts a Bedlam Reveler, I don't know how many more achievements she has left to unlock.
So then on the chance that at any given turn you could draw a Reveler, there's some temptation. I don't think that she'll do it, but there's some temptation to just fire off the lightning bolts.
No, yeah, I see
yeah,
what
I don't
you're
think
saying.
you can do that.
I think even, especially with Dragon's Claw in play, you can actually take a few turns off. Like, I think using Lightning Bolt as a removal spell is just as good.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I mean, but do you even want to play it as a removal spell? Because you don't have these creatures aren't doing enough damage to even matter, really. Well, she is going to kill it here.
This is the first time I feel comfortable disagreeing with Zoe's line.
Okay.
Although that said, I'm not that confident in it.
No, I don't like it either. I feel like we have enough life that we don't need to kill stuff like that. Now we'll see how things play out. She has been right every time so far.
Yeah.
But
right. And for what it's worth, I think that it's still a defensible play that she made, and she's still pretty far ahead. Although this ninth mountain is not doing any favors.
Now there is no reason to fire off the lightning bolt preemptively, because if we draw Reveler, we can just bolt and then cast it anyway.
Right. Meanwhile, TJ fetches for my least favorite Sacred Foundry art. No offense, TJ. Just my personal opinions.
Is that the original art?
No, that's the Gate Crash. Or sorry, yeah, that's Gate Crash, the second printing.
Okay.
I like the original for all the shock lands, but
I like them because I'm used to them, not because I really tell the difference between the different artworks. I'm just the ones basically, for any card, the first version that I came across is the one I like.
Right, I think that's great. Like I have an Italian Sacred Foundry that I bought in Italy once, and so now I have all of the matching ones from that because, I just like that art now.
Sure.
Zoe's going to save her Lightning Bolt this time, which I like.
Yeah, me too. No, she's not. And I'm...
Yeah. I think she's still got enough things where she's playing to be ahead, but now she's playing, I would say, a little looser with the cards she has in hand. She's not pressing her advantage as much as just, playing cards, it feels like.
Yeah, I feel like Zoe, right now, basically, having full knowledge going back a few turns, she would have the choice of being at maybe 14 right now and TJ being at 4. I think that would be a good trade for her, but obviously she didn't have the information of the next several turns when she would have had to originally make those choices.
Right, and the scary thing about Swift Spear specifically is that there's always a chance that it outsizes your Lightning Bolt, and you really want to make sure you kill it when you point something at it, because wasting a card at this point is really deadly. So Firebolt, never getting flashback. This Rest in Peace has been relatively relevant. I was a little low on it when TJ was, oh boy. Never mind. Let's talk about what really matters. It's time to light up the stage.
Can this light up the stage allow this burn mirror to end before turn 20? This is the last turn before we get that far, and we are going to make it. We are going to make it to turn 20.
Well, no, both of these cards are playable.
I know, it's not guaranteed yet. We could still get it done here.
Make some red mana. All right, that's 4 damage. Does a Swift Spear do it?
So, I don't know that I don't. Okay, yeah, she was trying to.
Yeah, Swift Spear does it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I think we're one short, right?
Oh, you're right.
We're 7 because of the Rest in Peace.
That's okay. We're at 30 something.
Oh yeah, we're comfortable for sure. Oh, the Swift Spear is not going to land anyway.
That's fine.
No, this is definitely just fine. So
let's
goes to 5.
Speaking of alternate win cons, Zoe's at 34. TJ has 30 cards left in his deck.
Yeah. Okay. Well, certainly. I don't know what you're suggesting. I don't know if there's.
I think she could
decking. I think she can't. I think the Auriok or the what are they called? Core Firewalkers.
Oh, she doesn't have enough cards left. She has too few cards because she draws so many.
Yeah.
She draws a lot of mountains. I can tell you that much.
How many mountains are in this deck? Oh, 14. There's still 3 more. There's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, she's doing the old, the classic count. My opinion, personally, in terms of manners while playing Magic, you could say she's gotten a little unfortunate to draw so many lands, but you shuffled up a deck of cards, or in this case, a computer shuffled up a deck of cards. So you just got to roll with it. Here's a 2
I don't
mana
even-
draw 2, right? You know,
I don't even think she's that unlikely to have drawn this many. This is turn 21.
that's a really
I mean-
good point. It's very hard to construct the whole context of the game from just a single board state.
How is there not a Valakut in this deck? Come on. Look at all these mountains. We just end this game immediately.
Okay, well, now this is crazy because she's going to play Bedlam Reveler and then still be able to play this Lava Dart.
So I don't know that I like playing the Lava Dart first, because she would still be able to play it next turn.
Look, you know, she just wanted to make the Reveler a little cheaper. Wow. Oh my goodness.
And then she draws 3 cards and doesn't actually have enough to finish the game on the spot. You know, okay, there's Path, wipes that out.
Yeah, you know, that kind of, you're kind of wondering what could TJ be sitting on. Definitely more copies of Path to Exile makes sense.
Yeah, I think there's only one more left. Here's another Firewalker.
This is so brutal. Just in time for the K return number 2, right? That's the only other one she has.
Yeah, that's the last one.
She's going to have seen 3/4 of her deck by the end of this draw step. Oh, God. And even here comes Bone Crusher Giant. I love this card. This card is one of my favorite designs in recent memory. And there's the lethal burn that you were waiting for.
Yeah. This was... And she's... Well, if she'd like to say just first, she could get to 50.
You got to...
Come on, Test of Endurance.
Test of Endurance! I can't believe that Test of Endurance was relevant to the way this game ended on turn 3000. You can't see us at home. We've both got Rip Van Winkle beards. You know, there's 17 different presidents have come and gone in the interim. What a weird long matchup between Mono Red Prowess and Red White Burn taken down by Zoe Riederman.
So I was excited about this match. I thought it would be enjoyable, and it actually, my expectations weren't high enough. That was really cool.
That was one
really
of the coolest matches I think I've seen in recent memory.
I thought I'm happy we had the perspective of Zoe's side to see all the different things that were going on, and boy, I can't even digest that game 1 mulligan choice to bottom, but it works out. She wins both games. Congratulations to her, moving on to the round of 4.
Yeah, we've only got one match left in the Elite 8 between Phil Silberman and Will Kruger. 2 great players, both of whom who've won on the Nerd Rage series before. But I gotta say, I'm rooting for Riederman. I love the way she plays. I love this mono red deck, and I love the kind of matches that she provides. I mean, this is great coverage stuff.
Yeah,
material.
This is
great
very
coverage
cool.
material. That's what they call it.
All right, so we're going to mention before we go, KMC sponsoring this event and the NRG Series. The top 4 competitors, which Zoe Riederman is now one of, will receive, I believe, inner sleeves and outer sleeves from KMC. And they're also available at Nerd Rage live events at discount. So whenever we get things rolling again later this year, they're always available, and we have them cheaper than you get anywhere else as a form of sponsorship. So thank you to them. And hopefully they appreciate the fact that no one could ever suspect that this is a recorded ad that they have. They always know it's a live read because I mess it up in different new ways each time.
Speaking of things that are new each time, if you like Magic the Gathering, you'll love Nerd Rage Gaming, and you should check out nerdragegaming.com. The Nerd Rage series is brought to you by nerdragegaming.com, so check them out for all your Magic the Gathering needs. And they also sponsor things like the Ponder podcast, which TJ Rogers is one of the hosts of. So if you like Nerd Rage games, pass them a few bucks, say thanks for all the great magic, thanks for all the great matches, and pick up some cards from nerdragegaming.com.
All right, so that just brings us to the end of our match for today. The NRG Series MTGO Invitational will continue tomorrow evening with, like we said, Phil Silberman versus Will Kruger in the last round of 8 matchup. So, Simon, anything else you want to say before we go?
You know, I just want to drive home one more time. People often talk a little bit trash about aggressive red decks and say they're mindless. Oh, it's so easy to play. Oh, a monkey could play that burn deck. But we just saw a really intense and intricate and long match between 2 mono red, basically aggro decks. What a wild format Modern can be.
Yeah, we've definitely had. This was another one. This is one of the best couple matches we've had so far in this event, and yeah, hopefully tomorrow we can have another one. So hopefully we'll see you guys back there. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Dude, that match kicked ass.